Alrighty, let's get this started.
What's brewing?
We got some of that Columbia that you picked up. Whoa. What
Easy,
was that? Is that good? Are we good? I think we're
fine,
good.
yeah.
Okay. That Columbia that you picked up at Woods.
Yep. For people listening to this like around town here,
Oh yeah.
just like Woods, like, are you really? You drink coffee from there? Like, it's got such a bad rep. Well, I don't know. Yeah, but it actually slaps. Like their blends, I'm not a huge fan of, except for I will say their holiday blend. I don't know what they do, but I mean they throw in really high quality coffees in there. They had once like really high scoring Kenyans in there, Ethiopians, like bonkers. But yeah, their blends I'm not a huge fan of, but their SOs though,
Dude, this is like our Jorge Mendes on steroids.
You think so?
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of it. I think the Jorge Mendes had just different body and a different mouthfeel.
Also, it's I'm curious to try this brewed batch with different water as well.
Yeah, because this is perfect coffee water.
Yeah, which we've cupped it in the last video. If you haven't seen that, check it out on our YouTube channel. But perfect coffee water, just you know, I don't know.
I don't even know how to say it. Reveals a little more acidity.
Yeah.
Because you can taste that in this brew.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Tropical fruit? Mm-hmm. It's there. I don't know. I think on the bag it says tropical fruit chocolate. And then...
what was on the back? The last flavor note.
Dude, you should just check. Hold up. It's going to kill me.
Tropical fruit chocolate, allspice. That's
allspice. Interesting.
Yep. Dude, and this is their relationship coffee. 100% traceable. I mean, honestly, Woods kills it. Like, this is great.
Yeah. I remember one of the, when I used to work for them. For those who don't know, that was my first ever coffee job, roastery job in general. I remember back when you like showed up, visited, and you're like, dude, that's alluring. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Yep, just
the cream of the crop.
Just roasting on one. I don't know. I mean, do you know what you're doing? I don't know. Just
pressing buttons.
Yeah. Have like 6 different screens, like panels, like there's like all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Now I'm like, I wish I can time travel back, but
dude, quick question. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but did the Loring have like, were you still dropping the coffee manually, or was it by a button?
It was a button.
Oh, so it's like automated drop too. Like it literally end roast and it opens up and the coffee falls into the cooler.
No, I had to hit a button on the side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Gosh, it's a freaking robot.
Yeah, it is.
It's wild.
Yeah, the panel, the interface that's built in is like, it's almost like you're driving a spaceship. Like, dude, it still has, but Elon, we want you. Dude. Yeah. Actually, did you hear about the project that he said that he's willing to donate like a bunch of money to somebody who can trap carbon and reuse it?
No, I
carbon dioxide or something.
That's pretty genius. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, and then there's like a lot of like universities, everybody, students, scientists, just like everybody's pitching him this idea, and he's like gonna donate because he has like something in store to do that. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. It would work like 100 times better than an afterburner. Yeah, which is such a scam.
Also talk about like reusable energy, like that's a whole nother level.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but when I worked at Woods, one of the biggest things, like Shay, he was like, I really love like. He's like, these relationship coffees is what makes me happy. He's like, this is why I do what I do. he's like, cool, like the blends, like the production, everything is
Yeah.
like cool. But he's like, these single origin coffees that I can shine and that I can build a relationship with, and that I can, go to these origin trips and meet them and share about what they're doing. And also the people they're partnering with are like, a part of the portion of their money is going right into the communities, into the schools, into like education,
the city,
the infrastructure of the village. And that's like,
Yeah.
that's like coffee, like so big picture.
Yeah.
And I just like, I love that. So
Yeah.
this is awesome. And it's cool to see like that they're not only just like 100% traceable, but like the producer's name is on there. Like,
Yeah.
just everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
So with that in mind, do you think our Sulawesi, the Desa Tolajuk, how close to how many percentage traceable is it?
I think it's like 9. No, it's like 100 pretty much.
Pretty much. Dude, I still I can't stop hyping it up in my mind.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like we did a thing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Pretty wild.
And basically after buying that coffee from that roasting company, I've had a piece of the whole year's harvest.
Yeah. And that's like,
It's wild.
yeah. And we're only, as a company, we're like a little over a year in, but you've been working on this project low key for years and years before that, which, our listeners, they know, if you know, if you don't, go back a couple episodes back.
Archives.
That being said,
Oh yeah.
the audio form is out, released.
Yes.
I think so. It's still getting approved by some of the bigger, like, I think it's not approved yet on Apple Podcast. It still is getting distributed and stuff with that. It's on Spotify. It's on Anchor. So now you want to listen to it? Well, it's there. It's ready for you. I think I'm still uploading all the podcasts that we've done to this day.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't know. I think we're up in the late teens.
Nice.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Wait, no. Maybe like mid-teens. I don't know.
Yeah.
Working through that. But anyways, which reminds me, like, it's kind of what we wanted to talk about today is like, you've been working on this project for way longer than Mir has existed. Now Mir, we're like a year in, and we got this cool thing that we're doing, like working like firsthand with a producer, like direct trade. No, it's pretty much direct, like not just the label that, now it's watered down, fair trade, direct trade, or whatever, but it's like really direct, like really traceable. Also, like at the same time, I feel like it's been a very busy, like it's always this feeling of like nonstop.
Yeah.
Work-wise, that is. Yeah,
I think right now, especially with the baby being home, like my life has shifted a lot. But it got, I don't know. I was even telling you this earlier. Like, I don't really know. I can't like quantify how busy I am. It just feels like I'm like on the go, and I'm also not getting anywhere, but I'm not falling behind. I'm in this place where I'm like in limbo, but I'm also enjoying myself, and I'm also craving for more. But there's this like thing going on like within me that I can feel that I'm like, okay, something feels, is the right word, off, or is it just kind of stale? Something weird about it. You know what I mean?
Would you say it's maybe a healthy form of being content?
Maybe. And if that's the case, then I really don't know how to be.
Did you reach
content
nirvana?
The
The ultimate place in life where you're content?
Yeah. To a degree, I think it has been, because my routine has changed. So there's like a new routine, but at the end of the day, it's still very, very familiar. I'm not doing anything that is like drastically like that I wasn't doing like a month ago. You know what I mean? But I think at the same time, I don't know, like it's on repeat. I still go to work. I still go to Makeworth. We still show up to do this podcast. And there's this weird feeling of like, yes, but what else is there more? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Kind of.
I'm just thinking always like feel like that's pretty close what contentment sounds like. Because content doesn't necessarily mean that you're satisfied. Like,
Yeah.
that you don't want anything, like you're done. It just kind of means like you're like grateful and thankful and happy to be, just be.
Yeah.
Exist.
Yeah. And I think that's why in the last month or so, some of my favorite times is us going to Lake Padden and getting the poles out, especially with our dad next to us on that dock.
Oh, God.
Dude, casting it in, taking a little swim.
Okay, this might be story time on the podcast here. Oh, that before we go there, if you haven't listened, a big part of the inspiration that came from is Lisa Farr. She has a coffee podcast called the Map It Forward, and a recent podcast she did is called "We're Closed, Gone Fishing," and please, like, no matter who you are, we'd highly recommend go listen to it. It's literally 10 minutes long. She just shares a story that's really impactful, that really inspired us, which talks about like, when is enough? Like, I feel like since we've started, like a little over a year ago, actually even before that, like I feel like I haven't even gotten down to like settle down almost. It's like one thing after another. Oh, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. And it's just this like rat race, so to speak, to a certain extent, where the story she shares kind of inspires like, hey, it's sometimes fine to say, hey, we sold some coffee bags this week. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Just go home. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, like enjoy the progress and come back the next day. But you don't have to overwhelm yourself or overextend yourself just to sell an extra couple, bags, or, in that scenario, it's like pies.
Yeah.
Which we've literally gone fishing.
Yeah. And I think, dude, just that concept of being on the dock, waiting for that nibble, like stopping, pausing, like
I could barely. I thought I was gonna just, yeah.
And one of the, there's a lot of memorable moments. I'll be honest. Like this fishing season has been already incredible to a degree. I wish I could do some more stuff with that, like little lure that I bought. But anyway, don't want to go off on that. Rooster tail, yeah. But some of the incredible moments were that eagle.
Oh, dude, that was powerful.
Dude, that stopped me in my tracks. And I think that, to a degree, was a form of contentment that I can't categorize.
Yeah.
I didn't have my camera.
Yeah.
Because, for both you and I, like pulling out a camera is going to be, or has been, quote unquote, work. But it wasn't. There was no camera to capture that. I didn't even have time to capture that with my phone.
Yeah.
The whole scenario, the whole plot, just lake, mountains, trees. I don't even remember seeing boats.
Yeah.
It was so serene. It was so calm. And then the majesty of a massive, huge, just, I can't even like I can't put a number to how big that eagle was. Just soar in, skim the lake, turn around, and sit on that tree next to us.
Look right above us almost.
Dude, there was so much like majesty and awe. And it was like, I didn't know what to do with that. And it felt relaxing. It felt like I think I told you, I turned to you, I'm like, well, I think we're done for the day. Caught our limit with that one.
Yeah.
Because like everything seemed to fall in place, and there was just like this deep sense of satisfaction. Like I saw something, I didn't work for it, and I didn't have to pull out my camera to capture it, to share it. I didn't have to create content. I got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say that sometimes like doing the other stuff, which we both love, has become this chore of have to.
Yeah.
There's this tension. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
mystical.
Yeah. For sure. I'm just at a loss of words because I'm thinking about a lot of things all at once, and I'm like, where do we go with this? Because, yeah, even me having my camera in my backpack right there on the dock, I could have taken a photo. It was like beautiful, like unreal, and I'm like, I don't really feel like I need to, like,
Yeah.
and that with also Mir and running the coffee roasting company, it's like sometimes you really have to like just say, hey, it's okay to stop and go fishing. Like it interesting hearing that podcast episode, hearing her share that story, and then realizing literally us going fishing on the weekends or even sometimes after work, or for me, like we woke up that one day at 6 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Went fishing, and after that I just went straight back to work. Like even sneaking in a little early morning, but it was like, and I haven't fished in like 10 years.
Yeah.
15 years. And that was like this thing that I could go and do this childhood experience, this memorable experience that was so intimate to my inner being. I was literally like, this is a place where I'm like, I can go fishing and just not think about anything else.
Yeah.
Like, cool, I've just worked all day. Cool, I've, whether it's video stuff, it's coffee stuff, it's 100 different things, but it was like, no, I'm going to go fishing. And it's literally you, the poles, the water, the dock under your feet. It's the, the nibbles on your fishing pole. It's the,
It's the small, like, classic sensations that I think when we're super busy, when we're super driven, we're motivated with growth, like expansion, innovation, like all those words that, people talk like in business, like we talk to our peers, everybody's talking about like, man, it's the next big thing.
Yeah.
But when you step back and you like reevaluate like something like a nibble on a fishing pole, something small, something like that doesn't really matter, that isn't important. And just the way that little nibble brings the excitement, it almost kind of returns a little bit of life. And I think that whole episode that Lee talks about like going fishing is that like, don't forget like the things that you've neglected that may look like they don't matter because they really do matter.
Yeah.
And they're part of your, the cliche mental health. They're part of your emotional health. They're part of those things that right now everyone's talking about. But my question is like, who's really doing it?
And that takes a lot of self-awareness, looking inward, literally. It's to realize like, and that's hard for both of us because we both know like the majority of our lives, work-wise, professionally-wise, like it's all been surrounded around things we actually love doing. Like we love working in coffee. We love taking photos. We love, pressing into the creative process. Like this is stuff we're passionate about. We actually enjoy doing this. Yeah. And it's also actually our job. And it's also us, who we are as people.
Yeah.
And at some point, your self-awareness, like you have to be able to look into yourself and say, hey, I'm going to pause. And I'm actually being so self-aware to know that like, even though coffee and photo stuff and the creative process is so much part of our jobs, is finding all the stuff in between that is also us. Like, like I don't remember last time we've like us both, you and I have gone fishing. Yeah. But finding that somewhere. Yeah. Like, actually, this is crazy because the day, like, I was just in the kitchen. Dad walked in, and the whole day it was sunny, it was bright, it was this beautiful weather that we've been getting. Spring weather, everything's blooming, just the florals, the pines, the evergreens, the grass, the aromas are just bonkers right now outside. And I just had this flashback to my childhood. And literally Dad came in, he has not fished in a long time, and I was like, Dad, when does fishing season start? Let's go. And he's like, let's do it. Yes. And that was like, there's something within me that I was able to see and experience And I said, I want a little bit more of that. I want to press into that.
Yeah.
But if you're so busy, and once again, like, it's not a bad thing that we love photo stuff. We love our jobs. Like, we literally love our jobs. Like, I freaking love what I do. Like, really, I would not want to be doing anything else. But being so self-aware that you're like, oh no, this is something that needs a little more attention, that is not any of those things related.
Yeah. And this may be a bonkers thought, but as I hear you say that, a thing that comes to mind is that disconnect, that like fishing actually is a way that you protect what you love. Like, you protect your job, you protect the other things that you love by doing these in-between things.
100%.
So in a sense, like, by disconnecting, you're actually creating more. You're actually giving and feeding into, like, adding more fuel to the flame of what you actually love to do. So it's a win-win.
Oh yeah. And that actually feeds more creativity into those things.
Right.
So that you can continue to grow and not just grow and do the mundane, but that you can actually explore those bigger things in a completely different way that you've never explored them by, because you were able to tend to yourself, to those pockets. Like as much as I love, but like everything that we're doing, like there are definitely times where I'm like this week, like I'm exhausted. Like I wanted to film a YouTube video for the channel today. And I was just like, I just don't have the energy and the creative power right now. I'm not going to do that right now because I can't. And that doesn't mean I don't love what I'm doing. It just means like I'm tired.
Yeah.
But those moments when like I have those gaps of we're going fishing, we're doing this, we're doing that, actually rejuvenates and gives me the energy to keep doing more things that I love.
Yeah. That's so good. It's all tied together. And I think what you just said, like the self-awareness part, you can't find that without knowing that what you know inside of you. It's a big part of it, main part of it, the whole part of it, whatever.
Yeah. What do you think, like somebody listening, how do you grow in this self-awareness, do you think?
Gosh, that's like the $1 million question. I think for me, oh man, this may sound off, but I think I'm thinking of like disciplines, like knowing that I need to stop and reflect. Like that's a big one, and making that a discipline. Like, okay, I know I don't naturally do this, and in order for me to like gain that self-awareness or to even practice that self-awareness, I have to stop. So before it becomes like something I constantly do without thinking, I have to think about it first. So I make it a discipline. And then when I get in that habit, it changes. It's like you're constantly in this form of self-awareness. But I don't know. Does that make sense? Or is that kind of like you added one thing to do another thing so you can do another thing? Like, you know, it sounds almost contradictory, but that works for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it works, then it works. You know? Yeah. I think, playing off of that, I'm like, introspection is so important. Like being able to kind of pause, like take time out of your day to pause, and maybe for 3, 4, 5 minutes, or maybe you're brewing your morning cup of coffee, or whatever it is, or maybe you're settling down with some wine in the evening. Literally just like take 5 minutes. I mean, at minimum. Yeah. Like go 15 if you can, 30 if you can, but literally just sit back and ask yourself, like, how are you doing? Yeah. What have you forgotten? Are you paying attention to things that are not super essential in your life? Maybe you've kind of lost track of maybe your life currencies, but really just giving yourself time to think is like so important. I'm like, a lot of some things that I've been pondering upon recently is like, I'm so head down and like, let's go. Like, let's crush this thing. Let's learn. Let's do this. And where I'm like, Oh, I actually don't spend enough time just to think.
Yeah. And I think to make it like practical, breathing practices,
Yeah.
that's important. That's a very practical thing. Even if you're on a break, like you're working and you're taking like a 15-30 minute break at work, I think it's a very, very important to stop and like do some breathing practices, practice like mindfulness. Like those are the things, like meditation. And right now, those things have been like, you hear about it everywhere and everyone's talking about it. But once again, like, are we really doing it?
Yeah. Are we really doing it? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it really comes down to. And, I don't know who needs to hear this, but just a little reminder that
Yeah.
airplane mode exists on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn off your notifications. Like, that is still an option.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds, it's still an option that you can use, that you can utilize. 15 minutes of your day, airplane mode it. Just that's going to help so much, just to calm your mind down, calm, your body down, and let you do that introspection, that reflecting, that thinking, So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
No, this has been like a great conversation. It's a hard one for sure.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so boring. It may not have like, in a sense, it doesn't have like these big facts or this big information. It is like introspective. Even the whole idea of what we're bringing up is, we talked about the lake, and that's can be a big, like a metaphor to what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? And the whole idea of fishing, yes, it was literal, but there's also this idea of metaphoric, like sometimes we just need to disconnect.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's very simple, yet also not simple at all.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that hits really deep home when it's kind of too late.
Usually. Sad.
Yeah. Wow. Didn't want to leave it at that, but thanks for listening, folks. Have
Like
a
they
good
say
one.
in that one show, was the Red and Green show, like, keep your stick on the ice. Keep going at it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Sure.